Hello at magandang araw mga kasangga. Isa na namang araw ng talakayan ang hatid ko sa inyo. Welcome here in Encyclopedia. If hindi ka pa nakapag-subscribe sa ating YouTube channel, mag-subscribe ka na and click the notification bell for you to be notified for the updates and new uploaded videos.
Good day, everyone. Welcome again here in our subject. Welcome to Core 15, Introduction to the Philosophy of the Human Person. And today, we will discuss various environment-related worldviews and how this perspective shapes our relationship with the environment. Specifically, we will explore three key worldviews. We have ecocentrism, biocentrism, and anthropocentrism. And these worldviews provide us with the different lenses through which we understand our connection to nature and help us reflect on how we should care for the environment. And before we proceed with our discussion, let's start first by defining our objectives for today. By the way, we are at day 17, reflecting on environment-related worldviews. And our objectives are, first is to reflect on environment-related worldviews, and second is to familiarize with the different environmental related worldviews. And to start our discussion, let's define first what is all about environment-related worldviews. This pertains to how individuals or groups perceive the relationship between humans and the environment, and it shapes our attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors regarding nature, and they influence ethical considerations about how we interact with the world around us. And as you can see here in our screen, we have three environmental worldviews. First is we have biocentrism, we have ecocentrism, and last is we have anthropocentrism. And as you can see, I already provided our keywords sa iba't ibang terms. In biocentrism, we have living beings. In ecocentrism, we have both living and non-living. And in anthropocentrism, we have human beings. But let us start our discussion. Let's start first. Let's talk about biocentrism or living beings. What is all about biocentrism? It upholds that all living beings have inherent value and that humans are not superior to others. And in addition, when we talk about biocentrism, it focuses more specifically on the value of living organisms. And biocentrists argue that all life forms, regardless of their utility to humans, have more significance or moral significance. And this includes animals, plants, and even microorganisms. So about biocentrism, it talks about living organisms. So that includes animals, plants, and even microorganisms. And biocentrism asserts that all living beings have an inherent right to exist, and that we as humans have a responsibility to respect the rights of all forms of life. Under this view, species are seen as equal, and humans should not exploit animals or plants merely for their own benefit. Example, animal rights movements and efforts to stop deforestation are based on the biocentric worldview, and people who adopt this perspective believe we should minimize harm to living beings and promote biodiversity because every living creature has its place and purpose in the ecosystem. So that is all about biocentrism. Next is we have ecocentrism, and the key word here is both living and non-living. It puts forward the value of our ecosystem, and ecocentrism denotes a nature-centered, and the value of diversity is above the value of individuals or single species. And when we talk about ecocentrism, as I've said, it is the center of moral and ethical considerations, and ecocentrists believe that nature itself, including non-living elements like mountains and rivers, has intrinsic value. This means that all components of the ecosystem, including plants, animals, water, and even the land, are seen as valuable, whether or not they are useful to humans. And exactly, this perspective argues that humans are not superior to the nature, but rather part of the natural system. And we should maintain balance and health of the environment, not just for ourselves, but for the well-being of the entire ecosystem. For instance, actions like conservation, protecting wildlife, and producing or reducing pollution are seen as moral duties under the ecocentric view. And last is we have anthropocentrism or human beings. And this anthropocentrism naman, from the word itself, anthropo meaning man, it talks about human beings, and it puts that human being at the center stage, and hence nature and ecosystems are sources or resources or for human use. So ginagamit lang natin ang nature and ecosystem para mabuhay tayo. Okay? At anthropocentrism or human being ang center stage. And human being are the most important entity in the universe. In addition, anthropocentrism viewing nature and its resources primarily through the lens of how they benefit humans. And in an anthropocentric view, the environment is valuable mainly because it serves human needs, whether for food, shelter, or economic development. And anthropocentrists often believe that humans have the right to control and use nature for their advancement. Pero sana, nililimit natin yung paggamit ng ating environment. Sabi ko nga nung nakaraang discussion, we have unlimited wants and needs, but our resources, we have limited lang. So some thinkers like Descartes saw nature as something humans could manipulate and dominate. And this worldview can lead to the exploitation of natural resources, but it can also advocate for environmental preservation if it benefits humans, such as preventing climate change because it would negatively affect human life. In conclusion, this three worldview is, of course, very important. It offers distinct perspectives on the environment. Ecosystem or ecocentrism teaches us to value the entire ecosystem as holistic. Biocentrism urges us to respect all living beings as equal. And anthropocentrism, it emphasizes humans' need or human needs and progress, often at the expense of nature. So there's a relationship between ecocentrism, biocentrism, and anthropocentrism. Okay? And these worldviews may seem different, but they are interrelated because they all deal with how we should interact with the environment. And each perspective challenges us to think about our responsibility as humans and how our actions impact not only our lives but also the world around us. And ultimately, these worldviews are valuable tools in understanding our place in the environment. A balanced approach incorporating elements from each might help us create a more sustainable and ethical future for both humanity and the world and natural world. And that's the importance of the three important worldviews, environmental worldviews. We have ecocentrism, biocentrism, and anthropocentrism. And that's all for our discussion for today. Thank you for listening to our discussion on environmental worldviews. Let's continue to reflect on how we can contribute to preserving our planet. Good day, everyone. And thank you so much.